Hearing these days that people get into anxiety and depression so often, and you're popping pills for everything.
Output, and that output is sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes happy, sometimes sad.
What do you mean by karmic relationships? Because we keep hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, you're repeating something that you are supposed to learn. Hello guys, and welcome to this another episode of Candid Conversations that we started off, and thank you for all the love that you guys have shown to that episode, and I hope it helped all of you. So today we all are back again talking about yet another important thing. We'll try to talk more about it so that we are able to see how we relate to it and how you guys can also relate to it. So I'll introduce all of them once again, and I convince them again to come to the show.
Neelam convinced herself this time.
No, come on, no. It was just that. I mean, the two of you, come on. You both don't want to come on camera most of the time.
No, that's not true.
How?
Repeating the same thing again.
I act.
Act?
Like I'm acting right now.
Okay, Shweta is like a self-proclaimed actor.
Yeah.
Right? So that's good. So we
None
can
of
do
our
this.
movies have come anywhere.
Which movie? Okay, let's start with today. So today I think we were chatting one day about just in general how we all have certain fears in our life and how that affects us in multiple ways. And I wanted to talk about this so that with my audience also, and while I'm doing tarot also, I had seen that most of the time the messages revolve around fighting your fears, right? So to make this a little interesting, I want to ask you guys, and I'll also share my fears. So, Shweta, what do you think your fear is in life?
I don't have fear as such. I have fear of situations that I make up in my mind.
Okay.
Hypothetical situation.
Hypothetical situations.
Hypothetical situations.
What
Okay.
about you, Vaishnavi?
I think, going on a serious note, I feel like I have a fear of being misunderstood, and that misunderstanding might come back to me in some form or the other. Basically, I will judge myself in general whether what my intention was because somebody else is pointing at me.
Right. So basically, it's like you fear karma, right?
Yeah.
That it will come back at you.
And it's surprising, I was about to say this thing. I fear karma in a lot of ways.
All of us do, I think. I don't know what.
Okay, so I have now coming to that point, I have spoken in multiple readings of mine and also in my Instagram reels where I do these small talks that help people understand certain things in life. Karma is quite often misunderstood in general. It's not something to be afraid of. And for the longest period of my life, I was always scared of the word karma.
I think everybody is. Are
We-
you guys not?
No, we associate karma with being something bad.
Yeah.
It is, like I said,
Yeah.
it's going to come back to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just fearful of that. Maybe I did something good and something good will come back to me. I'm not going to think that way. I'm just going to think in a bad way. Right?
So see, here again, the whole point is our mind. Like when something good happens to us, we are so into it and enjoying it, we forget that okay, this could be a brunt of something good that I did. We're just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Because the element is about enjoying, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to something bad that happens to us, we can't take it. Usually we run away from pain and sadness, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to escape it through a lot of things, like you
Yeah.
must be hearing these days that people get into anxiety and depression so often, and you're popping pills for everything, right? Because we want to run away from that feeling.
Right. Definitely.
So here comes the thing, and this is what I actually wanted to talk about, in fact, because that was one of my biggest fears, I would say, because I have kind of overcome it, because karma is nothing but your work. Nothing else. There's no need to be fearful about it. Whatever you do, it's like as you sow, so shall you reap.
Right.
So if you do good, only good will come out of it. So now coming to this point, like karma is majorly created when we say karma, we are creating karma at every point of our life. Today you and I are sitting and chatting, we're creating karma. We're trying to put out a word which might help people, and this will come back to us in a good way.
Right.
That's our intention.
Right.
So what you're trying to say is that we'll have a good karma and we'll have a bad karma.
Yeah.
And how do we know whether it is a good karma or a bad karma?
Okay. So here, see, it's like energy. Like when you're doing a chemical reaction,
Yeah.
the byproduct depends on the kind of products you're using and how each element is feeling. Like for example, if you and I are to do something together,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now in that situation, if you and I both are happy, it's a balanced karma.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have any ill feelings for me. I don't have any ill feelings for you. It's all balanced.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, if in similar situation, if you and I are into something and I feel bad about what you did, but you don't realize it, maybe because of your personality or whatever, like in general.
Maybe I didn't even pay attention to
Yeah,
that.
I didn't like it. It's an imbalanced karma. Because it is your duty, if you're doing something together, it is your duty to understand what the other person is also feeling. We often forget that. So it's imbalance. And vice versa. If I am doing something with you where you're unhappy and I don't realize it, it's again imbalance.
So it's work. It's what we have done.
Yes.
Right. Karma
Yes.
is just work. Like karam work.
Yeah, that's how the relation is.
Yeah.
See, the whole point is, even I didn't know this. And I used to always think, oh, and because I'm into this profession of tarot reading and spiritual therapy, more often I have people karmic relationships, right? So the word is so scary.
Yeah.
Every relationship is karmic. You are creating something out of a relationship. Like if you and I are friends today, we're creating a friendship together. It is karma.
Right.
The word, why we attach, oh, it's a karmic, because the lessons can be very toxic, because you will have to go through some pain and anxiety in that process, and that's why we are so scared. Now, when you're going through that process also, you are basically learning. The more you accept that learning, the easier it becomes for you to flow with it. Because every relationship is not going to be easy.
Every karam will have output, and that output is sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes happy, sometimes sad.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
But we generally just look at the bad side and the sad side.
Yeah.
That's again, as I said, it's more about what we think. Like, we always notice human mind. We will always look at things that we don't have.
Yeah.
We will always look at things that are negative. Because
Bad
that's
things.
bad things.
Yeah.
Because that is giving us a certain sense of discomfort.
Yeah.
And either we want to run away from discomfort and we want to avoid it. And our whole focus is to basically make sure that that thing is not happening to me. And which is why all of this happens. And we tend to think in that way. So the whole point is that if we are conscious, the whole point is we got to be conscious of what we are doing. So when we are consciously engaging in an act, it can be anything. Okay, so we know what we are producing out of it.
Yeah.
And when we are unaware of it, is when you see that so many people land up in so many kinds of situations. You'll come across people who get into so many kinds of complicated situations. And when you go to the root cause, you will understand that's because of one wrong decision.
Yeah.
That was in my hands only. I could have controlled that, or I could have not taken that decision, but I did it.
Because it was not done consciously.
It wasn't done consciously,
Yeah.
and it was also something that I was unaware of myself at that time. It happens because of that. So we create it. It comes back to us.
We
in
were
that
just
way.
talking about karmic relationships. What do you mean by karmic relationships? Because we keep hearing a lot about it.
Yeah. See, karmic relationships again, like, okay, you guys want to get personal?
No.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So anyway, like we all have, like even I've had. So I mean, all the audience who's going to watch this, I'm sure all of you might have had a relationship which was very difficult, right? So in common terms, a karmic relationship is a relationship which will be very difficult for you. It'll be difficult for you to stay in it and to also leave it. That's how we've defined karmic relationships. But for me, every relationship is karmic in nature because you're learning something, and karma is about learning and nothing else.
So if you attach yourself to someone, you are creating a karma.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it is a karmic
Any
relationship.
act you engage in, see, we are like, even if you go to physics, right? Work done is equal to energy produced. That's what it was, right? You
Yeah.
produce an energy when you're working.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like even when two people get married and they're co-creating the whole process, so you're giving birth to a child. That's the byproduct of making love, right? So anything that you do gives has an outcome. That is all. So when I talk about karmic relationships that are discussed today, it's majorly the ones that are very difficult. This is how we see it. Okay. But in general, that particular relationship is the most toughest relationship of your life. You have to go through it because it's making you wiser. We don't look at it that way. We look at it in a way where, oh my god, it is so difficult. I want to walk out of it, but I can't walk out of it. The whole point is that karmic relationships are relationships which teach you the most toughest lessons of your life.
And you need to learn that.
And you signed up for it.
Okay.
So that again comes from the point of soul contracts, and we'll do another video on it probably sometime.
Yeah, we were just talking about soul tribes and soul contracts.
Yeah, so we will come up with it. So the whole point is that, and it happens through a person. So that whole turmoil, so what we are talking about today is on a upper level of the reason why that turmoil takes place. Right? So the turmoil is taking place on earth with people. So you're learning it through these people. Like say there's so many things I learn from you. There's so many things I learn from you. Now the way I learn it can be, okay, one example. So if Shweta, you and I have an argument, okay? And in that argument, I understand that, okay, Shweta has a certain kind of a personality. But I had to have that argument to understand that you have that personality. And same is for you with me. If you have something of some sort, okay, so you get to know, fine, because I love Neelam or I love Shweta, I have to understand that her personality is like that. But if we would not have had that argument, we wouldn't know, right? So that process was tough, right?
Yeah, correct.
We had to understand it that way. So ultimately a karmic relationship is tough because the way to understand it is tough.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, like you will see, like we've done an article in Times of India also about it, and I'm glad that Times of India took it up with us about how certain relationships repeat itself, and you will see a pattern in it, right? So over there also, I feel again, the more you delay understanding this thing, the more difficult life becomes, and because life becomes difficult, the reason is you're not understanding it. So the universe will try to bring in a similar lesson in your life through multiple people.
So since today we are talking about patterns and karma and repetitive cycles, how do you relate both of them, and what is repetitive cycles and why are we a part of a pattern that we were just talking about?
That's a very good question actually.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, since we've also discussed this in multiple articles that we've put up and we're trying to talk about it on Instagram as well, we form a repetitive pattern or a cycle because we are not understanding our karma, which is a lesson that we need to go through.
Okay.
Like for example, today, like I was saying that for me, understanding this whole concept of karma itself was difficult. I was scared. So in general, there are a lot of people out there who wouldn't, say, I'll give an example of a relationship. Like you will find so many people that they get into a relationship and they just make that relationship their world. So this person definitely has an issue of attachment, okay? And that becomes your biggest fear in life. That what if I lose that person one day? So I'm going to make sure through every way I want this person in my life.
I'm going to stick to that person anyhow.
Yeah, so that becomes suffocating for that person. That becomes, again, it becomes complicated for me if I am attached too much over there. So in
And
that
at the end,
dynamic,
sorry to interrupt. But at the end, I think we're losing a personality itself when we're trying so much to attach ourselves to someone.
Yeah. So attachment is the main problem.
Yeah.
So that is your lesson. Now, if you keep repeating that same thing, like for example, today you and I say are in a commitment of sorts, and there I attach all my happiness to you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if that person is not able to fulfill it, I find myself in the same place again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, even if I break up from that relationship with you and then go to the next one and do the same mistake, what am I doing? I'm repeating.
You're creating a cycle.
Yeah. I'm repeating. I'm not seeing that you have to learn from your mistakes, and it's a very simple thing. Like even in school we were taught this, that learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
And in life it is a little glorified because it comes to us in the form of relationships and situations which are a little more bigger than school, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody, I think that most of the people will be able to relate this with their friendships and with their love partnerships.
Yeah.
Because that's the one particular relationship you create with many people.
Yes.
Right. So if you notice a pattern, you would know that it's your karma.
Precisely, and she said it very correctly. Like I think you put it across very nicely.
Yeah.
Any pattern that you notice in your life, which you see that you find yourself in the same place over and over again, you're repeating your karma, and that's how repetitive cycles in karma are linked. You're repeating something that you are supposed to learn. A mistake happens, or you see a situation, or if you keep repeating the same mistake over and over again, that is not a mistake, that becomes a habit. So then you are inviting karma in your life. You're inviting some sort of a situation which will make your life difficult and uncomfortable. And that will keep happening till you don't understand that.
Till the time you learn, you comprehend what is wrong and what I have to fix.
Yes.
So basically you're talking about a cycle.
Yeah.
And until you break that cycle, you're not going to learn.
Vaishnavi seems very interested in this.
Yeah.
I am just seeing this. Oh God, why? Tell me why.
It is a very interesting topic. I think everybody will be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
It is a lot of learning from here.
Yeah, totally. In fact, I'd recommend a book by Sadhguru. It's called Karma, and Shweta hates the cover photo of the book. I know that.
Yeah.
Yes, you've said it multiple times. I don't like, what
I
picture
think
is this?
if somebody is listening from that Sadhguru side, they should change the cover so that Shweta reads it.
Please do.
Although I love the book, but I think the cover photo,
Yeah.
when you pointed it out, I think even I looked at it and I was like,
Yeah.
that thing
It
can
was
be better.
sort of creepy, but not bad. The content is good.
Content is very good. In fact, I'd recommend that. And in fact, in my suggestions for one video that I had done for spiritual books, Karma Guidebook by Sadhguru is one of the best books that I have read, which explains the concept of karma in a very easy way.
Yeah.
And in that only they've spoken about what you were just saying. So majorly what happens is the more you delay it, the more difficult that lesson becomes, and the more difficult it becomes to break free from it.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So since we were talking about this
please.
was my question.
Yeah.
Then how do you break free from this repetitive cycle?
See, as I said, the more you delay it, the more difficult it becomes.
Yeah.
And obviously for a mistake to become a pattern, you have to repeat it 2-3 times. That's when you notice it.
There's a pattern.
There's a pattern, and that's how we all work. We all have our fears, we all have strengths and weaknesses, I think. So the day you understand that this particular problem is overpowering my life, it's affecting my relationships, it's affecting my every situation, you have to make yourself tough and fight it. And there's no way out. I know I might sound very harsh with this statement. If you find somebody in a place where that person is saying that I'm not able to do it,
Yeah.
boss, you're the only one who can do it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can come and do this for you. You are the one who has to take a stand that I'm not going to attach my whole life to one person all the time. I will have everything in my life. And I will also have a life partner who will share that happiness with me, and my expectations will be there but in limitations. And I need to be the only reason what makes me happy. Right? So I'm just giving one example. For multiple people there can be multiple situations. So only you and you can first comprehend that pattern. Of course you can reach out to experts and you can reach out to therapists and spiritual therapists to make you understand that this is your repetitive pattern.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, the person will only tell you that this is it, you have to do it. And as a spiritual therapist myself, I cannot break your pattern. I cannot break your pattern.
Yeah.
I can only break my pattern because that's me.
I think I can give a small example of how you can identify your pattern. So when you find yourself 2-3 times in a situation where your sanity is being compromised, and you can see it, you can feel it, but you can't explain it to the other person that why I'm so disturbed by this thing. And when you see that 2-3 times this has happened, that I'm so disturbed, my sanity is being compromised, just try to identify there that what made that happen.
Maybe somewhere you're getting triggered again and again.
Yes.
Exactly, the
Right.
word is trigger.
Yeah.
You've got to identify the triggers. That's, I'm glad you brought up this word. Because I think I forgot about it, because this is a word that is very common. in karmic relationships or in I'm trying not to use the word karmic relationship because every relationship is like that. So in any relationship, if you find yourself triggered by the same thing over and over again, that trigger is your pattern.
Yes.
So yeah, that's also one way through which you can identify, like what Shweta said, something that is bothering your sanity, something that is triggering you all the time. From your end, you can see how you can fix it. But if you see that a similar, like the same kind of people come in your life who are triggering you again and again, so you know that you got to draw that boundary with those people.
Yes. Maybe at one point, if you're seeing that you're getting triggered again and again, that is when you know that you have to stop.
Yeah,
that
yes,
is
Vaishnavi. Be clear. You learned it.
Lesson learned.
She understood that.
I don't have to repeat everything now.
So yeah, I think this session was about this only, and we tried to cover as much as possible around karma, and this is obviously we had this chat once before also, that your comments really help on suggestions that you can tell us that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, these topics are a little sensitive, they can be a little triggering while you're listening to it, and we understand that, but trust me, you are the only one who can understand your triggers and break free from it. Because life is all about that.
Yes.
Breaking free from your fears. We all fight it every day.
Yes.
So we're trying to empower all of you as well, if you guys can understand that and break free from it. And always know that you're the only one who's going to stand with you forever. Rest are all like people who are with you. And we should always cherish those relationships. But you're the one who stays with you forever. So I think we'll end the session on this note.
Yeah. And also, we will link the article so that people know more about it in case you want to read more about it.
Yes, so we did an article on repetitive cycles and karma, and we're so thankful to Times of India that they picked it up. So we will be linking the article over there as well, so you can see it, have a look and read it. And we've also put it up on our website, so please read about it, because see, the whole point is, in life you should always strive to be the best version of you, and that only happens by fighting your fears. So we end the session on this note.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Do subscribe to us.
And Shweta, your way of saying it.
Like, share and subscribe.
Alright, see you guys. Bye bye.